In the history of the Huan continent, there was only one man who stood above all others. He was the martial emperor of Ilchin. He had conquered every kingdom, defeated every army, and seized every treasure the world had to offer. To the world, he was a god, a being of absolute power who could crush mountains with a wave of his hand. But to him this absolute power was a prison.
His greatest companion, the Black Sage, couldn't understand it. He thought the emperor was mad. Why abandon a perfect life? Why throw away godhood? The sage had spent years gathering the impossible ingredients, the skin of 1,000-year-old imugi, and the celestial pandal fruit. These were treasures that men would kill for, yet they were just fuel for the emperor's wish. The sage asked him one last time, "Are you truly leaving? Do you really have no regrets?" He mocked him, trying to hide his own sadness at losing his best friend. The emperor looked up at the foreign moon. He told the sage, "You wouldn't understand. The loneliness of being stranded in a world that isn't your own. It eats you alive." The Black Sage unleashed his magic. "Fine then, you madman. I, the greatest sorcerer of the continent, will grant your wish."
When he opened his eyes, the battlefield was gone. The throne was gone. He saw white ceilings. He smelled antiseptic, a hospital in Korea. He had actually done it. But victory came with a price. Pain exploded in his chest. His body felt heavy, weak, and broken. The dimension travel had destroyed his internal energy centers. He wasn't a god anymore. He was a patient on death's door. He cursed the sage's sloppy magic, but he didn't panic. He was the martial emperor. Even in a broken body, his mind was a fortress. He closed his eyes and initiated the Not-Land technique. He forced the ambient mana to obey him. Slowly, the energy began to circulate. It repaired his torn muscles, stitched his veins, and ignited the fire of life within him once more. He exhaled. The pain was gone. His vitality had returned. It was back. But as he reached out to check his condition, the world suddenly glitched. "You have acquired an rank skill." He stared at the floating text. He gave up his empire to live a normal life, but it seems the universe has other plans. The martial god has returned to Earth, and he is about to level up.
Young Soo-hyuk stares at a game-like force system, but the real shock lies on his patient chart. It is 2028. The Black Sage's spell failed to return him to the past. Instead, Soo-hyuk has been in a coma for 5 years. The doctor explains that in 2023, the portal impact occurred, unleashing monsters, dungeons, and awakeners upon the world. Just when he was being told to rest, his family rushes in, but the reunion is bittersweet. Soo-hyuk realizes his smart younger sister, Sua, had been standing in front of her, seeing his brother after so many years. She hugged his brothers with tears in her eyes, which was followed by explanation of portals. This triggers a haunting memory of the night he disappeared. Soo-hyuk recalls acting like trash to his father, rejecting his kindness moments before a portal opened. In the ensuing chaos, his father pushed him out of the way of a monster, dying to save the son who had just insulted him. As he was seeing flashbacks of the night and how he was thrown into portal, he saw his family standing in front of him and apologized to his father after realizing he had survived. Returning to his family's Homer, dilapidated rooftop apartment, Soo-hyuk sees the poverty his hospitalization caused. Fueled by guilt and necessity, the martial emperor sets a single, desperate goal: "I need to make money fast." Lord of IT.
The martial emperor has a new mission: become a hunter and get rich fast. But the system hits him with a brutal reality check. His body has physical contamination level of 90% due to the after effects of his 5-year coma. He's so weak, he can barely run up a flight of stairs without gasping for air. If he enters a dungeon like this, he's dead. Suhak refuses to give up. He begins the innate land technique, the ultimate foundation of the Wan continent. He runs non-stop for 15 days, but the system mocks him. The contamination only drops to 86.8%. It's too slow. His family is suffering right now. He needs a miracle. He decides to gamble everything. He stops pacing himself and sprints. He pushes his heart rate to the point of explosion, aiming to trigger the hidden potential of the innate land technique. Semi-rebirth. An old man watching from the street thinks Suhyok has lost his mind, running until his knees buckle. But Suhyok isn't running. He's evolving. He forces the energy of nature into his cells, and the system is stirred by his sheer willpower. A massive shockwave blasts from his body, clearing the toxins instantly. Ding! Physical contamination drops by 30%. Ding! Level up. The rust has been shaken off. The martial emperor is back. But Suhyok enters a trance. He sees the vision of his past self, the emperor sitting on his throne. He tells the system, "I will not rest. I will reach my goal, no matter how many times I have to break this body." He pushes past the limit of human endurance, and the system is forced to acknowledge his will. A shockwave blasts through the neighborhood. The toxins in his blood are vaporized instantly. Ding. Physical contamination drops by 30%. Ding. Level up. He stands on the rooftop, steam rising from his body. He did the impossible in a single night. The martial emperor has returned. The emperor gazes at his body in surprise as it grows lighter and lighter, recalling how it once was when he ruled from the throne. The blue screen is constantly telling the emperor the stats while he is getting stronger and stronger until it is updated to level 2. He is manifesting, becoming a ruler of the world again. The next day, Suhak walks into the Hunter Association looking like a brand new man. But there is still one problem. He has boomer energy. He has no idea how modern hunters operate. In the elevator, he sees other candidates nervously checking their phones. He overhears that most rookies have at least 3 skills. Suhyok panics. 3 skills? I don't have any modern skills. I just have my martial arts. He assumes that to pass the exam, he needs to list everything he practiced during his training. But he's ready to die.
The Hunter Association registration desk. For the clerk working there, it's just another Tuesday filled with wannabe heroes and disappointed civilians. He sighs, wondering how many failed tests he's conducted today. Then, a man in a cheap jacket walks up. It's Yang Suhak. The clerk barely looks up. He points to the crystal ball and recites the script he's said 1,000 times. Place your hand here. If it lights up, you're an awakener. If not, go home. Suhyok places his hand on the orb. Flash. A blinding light explodes from the crystal. It's undeniable. The energy is pure and potent. The clerk wakes up instantly. Congratulations, he stammers. You really are an awakener. He hands Suhyok the registration form, expecting a quick signature. But he has no idea what he just set in motion. His eyes bulge out of his skull. Excuse me, the clerk whispers, trembling. You are level 1, but you registered 32 skills. Hey, immediately bow at a 90-degree angle. I'm sorry for not recognizing your abilities earlier. In a dark office upstairs, a high-ranking official with red hair reads Suhyok's file. A smirk crosses his face. It's been a while since such an interesting rookie appeared. Meanwhile, Suhak is running home. He's training Ding. Stamina increased by 1. He thought he could enter a dungeon and start making millions immediately. He was wrong. He checks the calendar. The training starts in 5 days. For Suhak, that's 5 days of torturous waiting. Or 5 days to turn his body into a weapon. The government prohibits rookies from entering dungeons without mandatory training. But the sage is ready for the next challenge. 5 days pass in a flash. Suhyok arrives at the Basic Completion Training Center, surrounded by nervous rookies. Suddenly, the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. Whoosh! Something moves through the crowd. It's a woman, pale skin, golden hair, and long, pointed ears. An elf. The crowd gasps. It is Shahar Kal Iluriat, a grand warrior from Elvenheim. She stands there, radiating elegance and power. But Shahar isn't looking at the crowd. She is looking at one person. Her sharp eyes lock on to Soo-hyuk. She is shocked. The moment I sensed her passing by, she had already reached that spot. Soo-hyuk analyzes. A smile creeps onto her face. This is going to be fun. The training hasn't even begun, and the instructor has already found her favorite toy. Shahar is analyzing him. Not even among the promising young elves have I seen someone like this before, she thinks. She was secretly asked by the association to watch the rookie with 32 skills. She expected a braggart or a liar. Instead, she found a level 1 human who could track her high-level stealth effortlessly.
Like and subscribe for next chapters.